Hello, everybody. It's Joe, and today, in the name of the moon, I will punish you. Hey, everybody. It's Joe. Welcome back to the workbench. I'm so happy to have you here. Today, we are going to be modeling the crystal brooch from Sailor Moon Crystal. Now, this isn't for me. I haven't watched a lot of Sailor Moon. I watched some of the old Sailor Moon when it first came out, but I haven't picked up on the crystal stuff. So let's go to Blender and see if we can make this. This is going to be a gift for somebody, and that's a wonderful thing about 3D printing. You can make custom gifts for people, and this is going to be one of them. This is going to be a custom gift for somebody who is a fan of Sailor Moon. So let's take a look at this. Well, first thing I've done is I've taken the brooch and imported it as a background image. Now I want this image to, or this brooch to be, well, so let's go back and take a look at the pictures. She wears two of these brooches, one on the bow and one on her neck. And the one on her neck is smaller than the one on the bow. I'm just eyeballing it here. It looks like the one on the neck is about, might be a bit wide to say 20 millimeters. But we'll make it about 20 millimeters. We can maybe scale it down a little bit. And the one on the bow is a little bit bigger at about 30 millimeters wide. That's a little bit wide. Maybe we'll scale that down just a little bit. But for now, we'll model it at 20 millimeters, and then we'll scale it up to 30 millimeters for the other one. And I'm talking about the main body of the bow, or the main body of the brooch. So let's go back into Blender. And I'm going to start with a UV sphere for this one. But I only want to see the brooch from the top. So let's change it so we're only seeing the brooch from the top. And so I'm going to take this circle. Now remember, these are 2 millimeters wide, so I want to scale it up in all but the Z by 10. And then I'll scale it up in Z a little bit. Maybe I'll actually modify this shape a little bit. Let's extrude that up. I don't know what, 2 millimeters, 1 millimeters? Yeah, about 1 millimeters. Okay, so now let's scale up the image so that it matches this one. Scale up. That's about good. Apparently we need to move it up into wide just a little bit because the picture isn't centered. How dare those animators make their pictures not centered. Alright, so the brooch contains two parts, the main body and the 4 circles around the edge, and we're going to have to think of a way to attach those circles to there, and I've already thought of that. What we're going to do to attach those circles is we're going to create a little cube shape, and we're going to shore up the bottom, because I think I'm going to, in fact, I'm just going to take the bottom of the circle right now and cut it off. Give me circle, edit mode, slice you off, and then fill in the hole so that we don't have a hole hanging out there. Now we've got the cube in the middle, and this is going to, so I'm kind of just making it stick out the sides, and then the circles are going to be cut. They're going to have a little hole in them, and they'll put it on there, and that way all I really need is one circle model, and then I 3D print it in 4 different colors, and we're good to go. So now, to add the detail to the brooch, we want to transfer this pattern onto the brooch. And how are we going to do that? You know, there's a lot of ways that we could do it. We could just paint it on there afterwards, but I'm not so cheap. I'm gonna actually go through the effort, and I might. I'm looking at this circle, and it's a little bit low resolution, so I'm going to redo the UV sphere, but I'm going to basically quadruple the segments on it. I think I can stick with 16 vertical rings on it. That'll probably be fine because they're so squished. And now we scale this up by 10 again in all but the Z. Scale it up in Z by maybe 2 or 3, and then we'll extrude this out a millimeter and get rid of the bottom again. There we go. That looks much better like this. Hopefully those layer lines, when we 3D print it, it'll have layer lines, so you know, those circles won't be shown so much. So now we have to transfer the pattern. The way I'm going to do that is I'm going to duplicate this one and I'm going to scale it up by, I really want there to be about a 2mm difference between the inner circle and the outer circle. And then I'm just going to carve this shape out of the upper circle so that this dark area kind of becomes a relief inside of it. So what I want to do, this is going to be complicated. I'm going to have a multi-shape that I then Boolean out of it. Will Blender's Boolean be able to handle that? Well, let's find out. Let's get to modeling and find out. I'm just going to create a bunch of cylinders. Yeah. So let's shape this cylinder. Keep on hitting GZ. I keep on trying to move it in the Z axis, and that's not right. Alright. That's about the shape for the crescent moon below it. Oh, that's huge. Oh boy, I made that too big. Let's cut the Z size on this down to, or maybe 10. Okay, let's add another cylinder. Man, even the star in the middle is not oriented properly. We're going to have to fudge it a little bit and orient it just a little bit differently. This guy right here, I'm going to have to think about my positives and negatives. This is going to be complicated. Actually, instead of moving it, we will do this in edit mode. Why are you doing it in edit mode, Joe? Because I'm clever. Watch this. Okay, get that there. Duplicate it. Get that there. Duplicate it. Get that there. I don't even know what these are. Are these supposed to be like planets around there? I don't know. And then we'll mirror it and we'll have the other side. Ta-da! Both sides done. This is really just not centered. Let me see if I can center the picture a little bit better. That's a little bit better. Okay, with that now, that needs to go down. That needs to go down just a little bit. And now everything's off. No. Yeah, they did not make this thing mathematically perfect. Am I going to make mine mathematically perfect? Well, yeah, probably, because I'm a sucker like that. I don't know. I probably shouldn't. I should take a hint from the artist and just relax about it. But I just can't. I want to take this one, smooth the top and smooth the bottom. And I'm going to have to think about my positives and negatives. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a negative shape that I cut out of, or sorry, I'm going to have a positive shape that I cut out of the negative shape that I then cut out of the big circle. It's going to be complicated. And I'm having to do all this in wireframe mode. So I hope you can follow along. Let's see. There we go. Let's add a... I love how the star is a little bit rounded. They are messing with me. They want me to go crazy, but I won't. I won't scum. I can make this happen. Alright. A 5-pointed cylinder, rotated 180 degrees, scaled up, and then extruded out on each side becomes a star. How far did I extrude that? 2.1. Let's make it just 2.1. 5. 2.2. 2.2. So let's just leave it. No. 2.2. 2.2. 2.2. 2.2. Screw you, artists, and your non-perfect shapes. This one will be mathematically perfect because I said so. Alright, let's, I've shown you this trick before when I did the dice. But we're going to do individual origins, scale in the not Z until they are practically tips. and then I'm going to loop cut each one of these. Select those loop cuts. Actually, looks like what I have to do is take this middle part and scale it. And there we go. That creates the kind of rounded, starry shape. All right. Okay, so now how does this work? It should be easy enough to say, okay, these parts are white and these parts are black, but it's not. It's really not. What I need to do is, how tall is this? This needs to be 15 tall. And this needs to be 20 tall. That way, oh boy, I should really put these on layers so that I can work with them. Okay, you two. 3. You are going to be 25 high. You 3. Let's move you to this layer so that I can work with you separately. So, we're going to take this and Boolean difference out that cylinder. This is the star in the middle. Then we're going to take the circle and make a star negative out of it and Boolean out. You know, sometimes I come into these projects knowing exactly what I'm doing, and sometimes I come into these projects with no idea. Guess which one I'm doing today. So there's the star negative. That's fantastic. That's exactly what we wanted. We can maybe take that one and move it to its own layer. Now, that's the layer I want. Now let's go back to this layer. What else do we have here? Actually, maybe we need to take this and move it back to this layer. Because now what we have, that's sticking out above them. And this needs to be sticking out above them. So it needs to be what did I say? 15? Yeah, okay. So now we take this part and Boolean difference twice, 1 the star and 1 the planets around it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Mars, my very excellent mother just served us 9. Oh, no, that's too many planets. I don't get it. I don't get where they cut off. I'm confused. Oh, I forgot the teardrop at the top. Well, we're not done yet. But that's looking good so far. It's the negative space that I need to take out of there. Let's model the teardrop now. Okay, teardrop starts as a cylinder with back up to 32 with this. Scale it down, move that up, and just kind of dissolve these guys. Nope, wrong edges. Dissolve vertexes. Nope. Alright, that's not working. So continuing on with just a little bit of additional ambient noise. Let's just undo this. Bring that back. Let's just select the points of the circle that I think I'm going to need to bring together. And let's just scale them by 0. Bring them together. And move them up into Y. Yeah, that looks great. Until I look at it from the side. And then I realize I wasn't thinking 3-dimensionally. So let's undo is your friend. Let's scale it in all but the Z by 0. That's better. Moving to Y. Now, part of the problem with this now is we have a bunch of points in one place, but that's easy to fix. You just come over here and remove doubles. And now we got a nice, pretty, yeah, we're good to go. So let's scale this up by 15, or 15 in Z. What happened? Let's try that again out of edit mode. Okay. dimension 15 in the Z. And then we'll subtract that. Whenever you copy the Boolean modifier when you already have something in there, it's trying to Boolean the Boolean one, and it sometimes causes troubles. Or at least slow down. Alright. I think that's looking pretty good. I think that's looking like my negative shape. So we're going to take all of these negatives and move them to their own layer. And now we got the negative shape here. And let's grab, this is the taller one, right? Oh, there's so many lines, it's hard to tell. Yeah, that's the taller one. Alright. So let's Boolean difference out our massive negative pancake here. Now let's move it to its own layer. And let's see what we got. So, there's our ambient noise. Alright, we've got, I think this is it. This looks pretty darn good, actually. And if I were to just, so the next step is to take all of these objects, Boolean them together. Oh, I forgot I need to do the circles around the edge. Well, that's trivial. UV sphere them. I don't need to have 128 on these. 32 will do just fine. You know, maybe I'll go a little bit higher. Let's do 64. And scale it up. What to do so much to see? Okay. And there we go. All I need to do is have one of these, and then I can print it 4 times and attach them on there. But I need to subtract out this space. Now, remember the video about tolerances and things like that? The one where I was building the puzzle pieces and I need to make the negative spaces a little bit bigger. We need to do that again here. So let's duplicate this cube. We'll call this the sphere negative. And we will just make its y dimension 0.2 millimeters more. And its x dimension 2 millimeters more. That's kind of a loose fit, but we're going to glue this on so it's okay. And also different 3D printers have different tolerances. So 0.2, there's actually only a 0.1 millimeter gap if you look at, well, you can't really see the grid, but if you looked at it, it's really only a 0.1 millimeter gap because 0.2 is 0.1 above and 0.1 below. So it's actually not as loose as it looks, but this is the sphere negative. There's the sphere. Let's add our differenced Boolean with the sphere negative. Hopefully I can, yep, snag it right there. And why didn't that work? Sometimes, well, that might be why. Let's recenter our, apparently our 3D cursor was way the heck out of the way, but we fixed that. I forgot something. I forgot something important. The sphere negative needs to extend below, and the sphere needs to be cut off in the bottom. There we go. And there's our sphere. That's a pretty good overhang right there, and so I might consider printing this with supports and then breaking those supports out. But then all I need to do is print that in red, green, blue, and yellow, and we are good to go. So I'm going to take this, Boolean them all together, export it, print it, and in the next video I'll talk about finishing a 3D print to make it look just really good and smooth. And I'm going to print this in PLA. We've already talked about printing ABS, or finishing and smoothing ABS. This time we're going to smooth and finish PLA. So hope you stick around with me on this one. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. Simon is down there in the corner to remind you to like, subscribe, share, and enjoy. And if you've got an idea of something that you want to see made real with 3D printing, go ahead and leave a comment below and I will put it on my list of projects to do. As always, thank you for watching.